The family sat at the head table. My sister-in-law, Clarissa, smiled with practiced condescension, her manicured hand gesturing toward the back of the ballroom. "You can join the catering staff in the service area," she said lightly. "I'm sure you'll find the company more suitable." My 12-year-old daughter, Sophia, squeezed my hand so hard I thought she might leave bruises. Her eyes filled with tears, outrage on my behalf. What Clarissa didn't know, what she'd never bothered to discover in 7 years of marriage to my brother, was that the stunning burgundy gown she was wearing, the one she'd been bragging about for months, the one that cost $47,000 and required a 6-month waiting list, had been designed by the woman she'd just banished to eat with the caterers. I was Elena Vasquez. Clarissa had no idea. The Whitmore Foundation Gala was the social event of the Boston season. 500 guests, black tie, a silent auction, and enough old money to fund a small country. Clarissa had planned it for 18 months, determined to establish herself as the city's premier philanthropic hostess. My brother Marcus had funded everything. His tech company had made him obscenely wealthy, and Clarissa had made spending that wealth her full-time occupation. I'd been invited out of obligation. Marcus and I had once been close, before Clarissa had systematically isolated him from anyone who remembered who he was before the money. She tolerated my presence at major family events because excluding me entirely would raise uncomfortable questions. Still, she made sure I understood my place. "Clarissa," Marcus said, appearing at her elbow. "Elena's family. She should sit with us." "The head table only seats 12, Clarissa replied smoothly. "We discussed this. Your sister understands." She looked at me with that smile, the one that dared me to make a scene confident I wouldn't. "It's fine," I said quietly. "Sophia and I will find somewhere." "Mom," Sophia started. "It's fine, sweetheart." I guided my daughter away from the head table, away from my brother's apologetic expression, away from Clarissa's satisfied smirk. We found seats near the service entrance, sharing a table with the event photographer's assistant and 2 people who appeared to be personal drivers. "This isn't fair," Sophia whispered fiercely. "She's so mean to you. And Uncle Marcus just lets her." "Your uncle is in a difficult position," I said gently. "He's rich." "How is that difficult?" I smiled sadly. "Money doesn't solve everything, baby. Sometimes it just creates new problems." Sophia watched Clarissa glide through the room. "She's wearing a really pretty dress. I heard her tell someone it cost $50,000. 47, I said. Sophia frowned. "How do you know?" I smiled but didn't answer. The gala unfolded with the usual rituals: cocktails, networking, a parade of designer gowns and borrowed jewelry. Clarissa floated through the crowd like a queen greeting her subjects, accepting compliments with practiced humility. "It's an Elena Vasquez original," I heard her say. "She's the most exclusive designer in the country. 6-month waiting list minimum." I had to pull quite a few strings. She hadn't pulled any strings. She'd walked into my New York atelier, treated my staff like servants, demanded special treatment and paid full price, just like everyone else. She'd never once looked at the photographs on my office wall. Images of me at my runway shows accepting my CFDA award. She'd been too busy admiring herself in the mirror. My fashion house, Vasquezelier, had grown from a tiny Queen's studio into a $40 million company with clients that included actresses, politicians, and royalty. I kept my personal life separate from my brand by design, using my maiden name professionally, avoiding social media, letting the clothes speak instead of my face. In an age of celebrity designers, I was deliberately invisible. Most people in fashion knew exactly what I looked like. Most people at society galas did not. The moment I'd been expecting arrived just after 9. Miranda Chun, a fashion reporter for Vogue, had been circling the room all evening. We'd worked together on several profiles and I considered her a friend. When she spotted me at the back table, her face lit up with surprise and delight. Professional obligation sent her to Clarissa first. I watched as she complimented the gown, asked about the designer and received the smug reply. "Elena Vasquez," Clarissa said. "Simply the best. Very exclusive. You really have to know people to get on her list." Miranda's expression flickered, just for a moment, before settling into professional neutrality. "What a coincidence," she said pleasantly. "I just noticed Elena across the room. Shall I introduce you?" Clarissa laughed. Elena Vasquez doesn't attend charity galas in Boston. She's based in New York. Very private. I assure you she's here, Miranda said. I've interviewed her several times. She turned and pointed. Right there, the woman in the emerald dress. I gave a small wave. Clarissa's face transformed, confusion, disbelief, then dawning horror spreading across her carefully Botoxed features. Miranda was already crossing the room toward me, photographer in tow. Miss Vasquez, what an honor to see you, she said warmly. I had no idea you had Boston connections. My brother lives here, I replied, standing to embrace her. It's lovely to see you, Miranda. May we get a photo of you with your creation? She asked, gesturing toward Clarissa, frozen across the ballroom. Mrs. Whitmore is wearing one of your most stunning pieces. Our readers would adore a designer and client shot. I'd be delighted. We walked together toward Clarissa, who had gone an interesting shade of gray. Whispers rippled through the room. Elena Vasquez is here? The designer was sitting in the back. Miranda smiled brightly. Mrs. Whitmore, I'm sure you're thrilled to meet the genius behind your gown. What a fortuitous coincidence that she's family. Clarissa's mouth opened. Then closed. No sound came out. I smiled warmly. Hello, Clarissa, I said. You look beautiful tonight. The burgundy suits your coloring perfectly. That's why I suggested it when you came to my studio. My studio? Clarissa echoed faintly. Vasquez Atelier, New York. You spent 3 hours there in March. You complained about the temperature, the coffee, and the consultation fee. I smiled. I remember all my clients. The photographer kept snapping, capturing every flicker of Clarissa's unraveling composure. I didn't recognize you, she stammered. No, you didn't. You never looked at me. You never asked my name. You spoke to my assistants like they were beneath you and demanded the best table for your fitting. I kept my voice light, conversational. That's all right. Many clients don't realize the woman measuring their inseam is also the creative director. I prefer it that way. Marcus appeared beside us, his expression caught between confusion and concern. Elena, what's going on? Your wife is just learning that she's been wearing my design all evening, I said calmly. The dress she used to demonstrate her superiority over me, the one she told everyone cost $47,000, was created in my studio by my hands. My studio? Marcus looked at Clarissa, then back at me. You're Elena Vasquez. I've been Elena Vasquez for 20 years. I told you when I started the company. I sent announcements for every show, every award, every milestone. I never opened. He stopped, realization dawning. Clarissa handles the mail. Does she? I said softly. We both looked at Clarissa. She was trembling now, whether from rage or humiliation I couldn't tell. You knew, she spat. You knew who you were when you came to my fitting. You let me treat you like a servant? I finished gently. Like someone beneath your notice? I let you show me who you were. You did that all on your own. This is humiliating, she hissed. You planned this. I planned nothing. I designed you a beautiful dress. I charged you full price. I attended my brother's gala as a guest. You're the one who seated me with the caterers. You're the one who made sure everyone knew how exclusive your designer was. I tilted my head. I was perfectly happy staying quiet and enjoying my evening. You couldn't resist performing. Miranda had stepped back, but the photographer hadn't. By morning this would be everywhere. Mrs. Whitmore, Miranda said carefully, would you like to make a statement for the article about being seated apart from the designer of your gown? And about pulling strings to get on her list when she's your own sister-in-law? Our readers will be very interested. You can't print that, Clarissa snapped. It's all on the record, Miranda replied smoothly. But I'm sure Elena will be gracious about it. She always is. Clarissa turned to me, desperation creeping into her voice. Elena, this is a misunderstanding. I didn't recognize you. If you'd known, you'd have treated me differently, I said. That's the point. You shouldn't need to know someone is important to treat them with basic respect. I turned to my daughter, who had been watching everything with wide eyes. Sophia, sweetheart, this is Miranda-chan. She's a wonderful journalist and a friend. Miranda, this is my daughter. She's been asking about fashion school. A future designer? Miranda said, shaking Sophia's hand. You have excellent genes. Mom designed that dress? Sophia asked, pointing at Clarissa. The one Aunt Clarissa's been bragging about? I did. Sophia blinked, then burst into delighted, uncontrollable laughter. The pure joy of a child witnessing cosmic justice. That's the funniest thing ever. Even Miranda smiled. Clarissa fled toward the bathroom, trailing whispers and stares. Marcus found me by the bar half an hour later. I owe you an apology. You owe me about 7 years of them. I know. He ran a hand through his hair, a childhood gesture I hadn't seen in years. I let her isolate me. Control who we saw, who we talked to. I told myself it was easier than fighting. It was easier for you, I said quietly. Not for me. I didn't know about the mail. The announcements. The invitations. She threw them away, I said. I figured it out eventually. That's why I stopped sending them. Why didn't you tell me about the company? About your success? I tried. You were always busy. Clarissa always had plans. After a while, I realized you'd chosen your side. I sighed. I didn't come here to expose her, Marcus. I came because you're my brother. I was willing to sit in the back and make the best of it. She couldn't leave it alone. And now everyone knows, he murmured. Yes. Now everyone knows. He hesitated. Is it true? 40 million. Give or take. Clients include royalty, 3 princesses and a duchess. I made Kate's dress for a private event last year. Kate Middleton? We don't discuss clients publicly. Marcus laughed, a sound I hadn't heard in years. My little sister dresses royalty. And I had no idea. You could have known, I said gently. All you had to do was look. I'm looking now, he said. I want to try again if you'll let me. I considered the years of dismissal, the holidays spent on the margins. Then I remembered the brother who taught me to ride a bike, who helped me apply to design school. I'll let you try, I said. But it has to be real change. Not just tonight. I understand. And Clarissa needs to understand something too. What's that? I don't need her approval. But if she ever disrespects my daughter again, I'll make sure every fashion editor in America knows exactly what kind of person wears my designs to charity galas. That's fair. It's not a threat, I said calmly. It's a boundary. I understand the difference. Sophia appeared beside me holding 2 plates of dessert. The caterers gave me extra, she whispered. They said anyone related to Elena Vasquez gets VIP treatment. Also, Aunt Clarissa locked herself in the bathroom and won't come out. That sounds like her problem, I said smiling. Ready to go home? Yes. This party is boring except for the drama. As we walked toward the exit, I caught glimpses of Clarissa's dress throughout the room. The burgundy silk, the embroidery, the silhouette I'd perfected. Beautiful work. Some people need labels to recognize value. Others only see worth when it's spelled out in price tags and prestige. I'd spent 20 years building something real, skill, artistry, a company that employed 40 people and made women feel powerful. Clarissa had spent 7 years trying to make me feel small. That night the truth had come out. And the dress had never looked more beautiful.